I'm Gauri Shankar Nayamani. In my previous videos, I had mentioned about delinking of the farmers with the politician. In this video, I wish to tell about how to avoid IVF for cases which are bordering cases and where still there are chances of a natural process. And I'm going to tell how to avoid IVF. There are cases where even the IVF people say you go for the natural process. If you fail, then only we will go for the IVF. They give you quite a length of time and chances, but still, any one of the spouses says we have to go for that, then they go for that. And here, what I want to issue is why we have to. In our days, this problem was not there. We had the other problem: how to stop a child, how not to beget a child. That was the problem, and we had ample help from Government of India, and the various sectors, various methods were there, and we had to follow all of them. We used to follow all of them to avoid getting a child. Now the opposite is happening over the years. Many things have happened. The changes have taken place over the years. The changes have taken place. The food habits and the food itself, fertilizer at the bottom, pesticide at the top, the human being in between, and all the knee problems and various kinds of problems. And this has all slowly led to the problem of how to get a child. Child getting has become a process. Has become a difficult process, and this going for IVF. In nowadays, present what I want to amplify here is the difference is between our days we had ample software for the brain, and that software, that is we used to have the concerned semi porno or half porno literature. The loading of that with the brain, when the brain was loaded with that was the software for that, leading to the hardware process, the process for natural process. Now present day, with the advancement of time, that software is missing. Those days we had, even now the concerned literature or the books, the book reading was used to load the brain with the concerned the so-called software for that, and presently that step is missing. In the present day, that software is missing, that literature or semi-porno literature is missing. Even now the Bombay Flora Fountain footpath stalls, they have all those books we were getting those days, you, he, she, they were the books, and Midwood series and all this. They would load the brain to the extent that it will lead to the next natural sex process. Pressurized for that. And those who were going for that, they would go for that, and though in that process, where people who did not want to have a child, they would go for the preventive methods. That could be the Government of India subsidized Hindustan Latex Kerala product, that condoms, or the other methods, copper tea, Dr. Lippia's loop. There were so many methods, and people had to follow them to avoid a child. Now the present day status is entirely different. The software is missing, and with that, the subsequent act is missing, and you have to go. People are going for the IVF. And here I do not understand here what they are mostly doing is most of the IVF cases, the children born are twins, and this is not the case they say in US. But here, what I found later, I was told that the twins is a compulsion here, because for a single child, the probabilities and trials, too many probabilities, chances for that being less, the process would become very costly, which the American staying people can afford, whereas for Indians it will be too costly, and as such, they are giving a probabilities of possibilities of permutations and combinations, and they explain you well that we have to go for this, and you get twins. Here the next point I have to the next point I want to say is, with reference to IVF, before the sex process or the artificial process or any process, it is the semen presence of semen pressure leading to the next sex act. In our days, when the cement tank was loaded, or any time when the cement tanks are loaded, the pressure comes for a sex act, and either you go for a natural sex act, or while you're still a student, you go for an artificial release, and they were all accepted methods. I had one senior in hostel. He used to say, I would not let go one drop of semen. Later on, we found that he became a totally mad person. And here, current day things, when you go for IVF, etc., the priority should be the quality of the semen leads to the corresponding child. So, for best quality, what you have to do is not the taste-oriented food, but you should go for nutrition-oriented food or combination of both. Nutritious food is more important for healthy semen rather than taste-oriented food. Over the years, the second generation, the present generation is more worried about the taste, and as such, they lose the value for the nutritious aspect of the food is missed, which leads to the consequences leads to the corresponding consequences on the child. And in some cases where you go only for nutritious aspect is missing, and you go for the current day child, some children are born with the current day problems like autism. All these things have happened over a period of years, and they have been happening over the period of years, and there is nothing particular about it that previously generations we didn't have, because those days food and food values are different. The current day food values are entirely different, and as I previously already told, they are bottom is loaded with the fertilizer, and the product is loaded with pesticide, and the real nutritional value is very rare, comes down to very low level, and as such, the best of the nutritious food should be taken before going for this process. This is my general advice. Hence, people who would like to take a last chance, as advised by even by IVF people for a natural process, if you can get the corresponding software loading aspect, and then you go for a natural act, you can go for the natural act. And the same and on the food side, when you are going positively for the IVF process, you go for the nutritious food as much as possible, and then you give your semen for IVF.